Excuse me. Were you impressed with that? Did you like how much water I just drank right there? I look drunk. Welcome back to the Dragon's Tongue, baby. We're back in it, and if you can't tell, I have changed my setup. I changed rooms because I realized that the other room I was in is literally... there was smoke and getting in my PC, and it was not good, and it was also hot, so my PC was overloading, and it's just a little mini PC. So now we're in the other room, and this is my art nook kind of thing, but I have my dinosaur here. I have my light up dinosaur here, and I have my book, by the way. By the way, I wrote a book. I really should have started that with a quote from my book. But maybe we'll do that next one, maybe we won't. I don't know. It's there, okay? Hopefully I will have the link in the description like I had last time. But today is kind of an exciting and interesting... well, it's actually night. Tonight is an exciting and interesting video that I'm going to be doing, because this one... I did this video before, and it was a long time ago, and it's about Beastars. And about how bad I hated the ending of this manga. It's got 22 volumes, and the ending is the true ending, and it is... there's a lot of problems in the last couple volumes here. And I'm going to go over every one in more detail this time than I did the last time. The last video is literally an hour and a half long, which is part of the reason why I never got it uploaded, was because, like, my PC is like, I can't take the pressure! So, with that being said, we're going to basically dive into the ending and all the things that were wrong with it that I didn't like about it, with a little bit more... because I'm going to be doing this in parts. I'm going to upload it to a playlist like I've been doing my movie reviews. Each part is going to be a separate episode of the problems with this. And it might be on different days, it might not. I think I'm going to do, of course, like a first couple tonight and then a next couple or whatever. But let's just dive kind of right into it here, because I got a lot to cover, and holy shit. So yes, Beastars is, to give you a little bit of a synopsis, Beastars is a manga that was created, I don't remember when it was actually the first volume came out, but it's a relatively new manga, and then it got turned into an anime, of course, and the anime is like on season 2 or something like that. I don't believe season 3's come out or anything. And I freaking love this manga. It is absolutely amazing, and it inspired me to make a show thing. I don't know what to even call it at this point, but it gave me an idea for a story. And it's one of my favorite stories ever. You may have heard me mention it before, but I call it Birds of Prey, and you'll just have to wait and see what it is when it comes out, whatever media it comes out in. I kind of wanted it to almost be a YouTube animation kind of thing, and then I was like, maybe I'll just make it into a graphic novel thing. I don't know. But what I do know is that these books were what inspired me to make it, and again, it came, like, some of my favorite characters ever came out of the story that I made based on this. And it has nothing to do with Beastars, it was just my mindset at the time made me make this story that was just so inspiring to me. So this Beastars holds a special place in my heart. I love the style. The style is very different. The world building is really good up until these last couple volumes. It's really solid. It's very controversial with a lot of its messaging, and I love that. I love so much of the characters and everything is very interesting, like, for character studies. Like, the characters are deep and involved, and you want to root for some of them while also wanting to choke the shit out of some of them. Like, it's just a great series. If you're looking for a great manga, Beastars, man. Beastars is really good. It's so good. And so it pains me. It crushes me that the ending ended up as it did. And yeah, I'm just going to, you have to know the series to know what I'm talking about, I will say. If you don't know the manga in particular, if you're people who have watched the anime, this is going to be, I think, a little bit beyond what you've seen from season 2. Because I'm talking about the end. This is volume 22. This is the final volume. So, in this final volume, holy shit, the amount of shit is in here. Look at all these things. Look at how many, like, markers I have in this book of things that are wrong with it. Like, in these, I have, like, several. I brought the ones, I backtracked and found all the ones that have the most problems, and it starts with 17 here, plot-wise, and it just kind of builds. But you can see, this last one right here has all these fucking markers on it. Oh, it hurts. So, if you don't know the manga, you're not going to know what I'm talking about, some of this stuff, so good luck understanding some of this. But if you have read the whole manga, congratulations, you're a friend of mine. My mic was just like, duh! Okay, so, section 1 is Kiyu. Kiyu, I don't know how to pronounce her name. This character right here, I don't like this character. So there's a ton of reasons why I don't like this character. And of course I have my notes, my notebook right here, where I write down most of my notes for YouTube videos and everything. And this is some old shit too. This is my old scrawlings that I had written down, which is kind of, so it's fun to look back on it. But anyways, my number one point here, my first one at least. Kiyu is a pointless character who was just another Louis and training went nowhere. Good point, me. So, Kiyu as a character is just one of those characters that I really, really just don't like. For reasons that she is pointless. She's just a pointless character. And she adds absolutely nothing to the series, basically. She is, in my notes, I said that she is just another Louis, and that is on point. So, Louis had very much, in the beginning of in the manga and the anime, or whatever you want to look at it, Louis had he was very prejudiced against the carnivores, and he slowly kind of outgrew that through his experiences with Legoshi, through his experiences with the Shishigumi. Like, all these things helped make Louis understand carnivores better and even come to love and appreciate them as his friends and family. Like, Legoshi is like his best friend, and the Shishigumi are like his family. And so I feel like the writer, Paru Itagaki, this lovely lady right here, I feel like she got to a point where Louis was not like the primary focus character of the pushback against the carnivore, so she had to make up another character. Because Kiyu is literally just another Louis. Kiyu is the exact same character that Louis was at the beginning of the series. She's prejudiced, she's like super bossy, like her first interaction with Legoshi actually as a character is her like undermining him, like literally there's so remember in the original let's see what's in here, remember in the original in the first beginning where everyone was kind of poking fun, and people from the anime will get this, but you know, Louis' first like big interaction with Legoshi, he's just like, you're a carnivore, why do you hide your power? Like, if I'd be anything to be power like you. And he basically assaults Legoshi, because he's just like, he sticks his hand in his mouth and he's like, bite me, Legoshi, bite me, you know, and everyone knows that scene, right? Kiyu does the same thing, except more intense in a way. So, Kiyu basically, like, her first interaction with Legoshi is they fight because Legoshi and Louis fall into Kiyu and the llama boy, they fall into their base, so of course Kyu has to defend herself and everything. But then her second, after everything calms down and Louie's like, hey, we know each other, we're cool. After that interaction, Kyu meets with Legoshi alone, and basically she kind of just forces herself on the guy. So, like, her whole thing is, like, you know, with Legoshi, she comes to him when he's in his bed, and it's this really uncomfortable scene where, like, Legoshi's freaking out because he's, like, not only is he a taken man, but also he has a hard time holding back because this is another rabbit, which he has a fetish of rabbits in a way. And she basically does the exact same thing Louis does. She forces herself on him and is just like, why do you hold back your power and all this stuff? And then when he rejects her and is just like, hey, no, I don't want to do this, she attacks him. And, like, it's just the same character. It's the same character. And oh my gosh. It's the same character as Louis, and I feel like she's almost a bit of a she's like almost a bit of a like feminist character in a way, where she's like to me, Beastars very much represents the differences between men and women more than it does the differences between races. You can see this all throughout the series where it's littered in, where it's almost like it's more against male versus female. The carnivores represent men and the herbivores represent women. And with Kyu, it's like this, she's like this character where it is very much, she's all her life, she's known nothing but pain, because again, she was one of the survivors, same as Louis. She was the survivor of these traffickings, black market meat trafficking things. And she despises carnivores, yet she also wants very much to be like them. Her chimera or or whatever it is a beast. Let's see. Let's see here. Is like a, I don't know what fell, and I don't care. Let's see here. I did kind of forget that there is another scene where Kyu does attack Legoshi and they fight again, and it's this chimera thing. Yeah, she has this chimera, and it's basically a carnivore in a way. You can see it right here. I'll show it right here. But it's her chimera is like a panda, like wolf kind of looking thing. It has very much carnivore features and everything. And so she's basically kind of in love with Goen, who is also her teacher, which I'll get to this in a minute, but she's such a pointless character, because what can she teach Legoshi? So basically, after this whole weird interaction with her trying to force herself on Legoshi and this whole thing, she's just like, okay, we're gonna train now. I'm gonna train you because, like, I respect you, found some respect, and then it falls off because she does this deal with Melon that doesn't go anywhere. My biggest problem with the Beastars ending is there's so many plot points that drop off. I feel like I'm watching fucking Yellowstone, where it's like they make a plot and it's like, that's an interesting thing, where are they gonna go with this? And then it just, next season comes around, no one knows. It just disappeared. It fell off the face of the fucking earth. And that's the same thing with Beastars here. Plot points just fall off. So Kyu is just such an unnecessary character. There was no way that Legoshi was gonna fall in love with a different rabbit girl. Like the writer Parutagaki, she kind of teases this because it's like Kyu is this more big-chested, curvy rabbit girl than Haru is. Haru's just like, you know, she, like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, she looks like a child. Whereas Kyu is she's a full fucking woman right here. So there's this whole kind of thing where it's like, oh, in their first fight, Legoshi, to try and, because he's struggling and she has him basically up against the wire, he kind of uses his feet to like pull her pants down, and she's like, huh, you think that you're just gonna overwhelm me because you pulled my pants down? What do you think I am? And this whole fucking thing. And it's like, you cannot trick the audience into thinking that Legoshi is gonna fall in love with another rabbit girl. You're not. He's in love with Haru, and that's the way it's going to stay. She was just such a. Q is a big problem because she takes up so much time that does not need to be taken up, because she's just such a pointless character. She never does anything. So at the big end of the series, Q never is the secret weapon to defeating Melon. Her training with Legoshi goes nowhere. So Q does some training with Legoshi. And again, it's just so much of, there's no point in the, there's only one, technically there's one point where, their training kind of comes up, and it's this weird part where Legoshi's like, I'm a dog, so you need to teach me to stay. You need to tell me to stay, because he's like fasting or whatever, or some shit. And Kyu's like, okay, stay, Legoshi, stay. And there's this whole part where he tells her about the dopamine rush apparently canines get when you tell them good dog. And at the end, when Legoshi's fighting Melon, even though Legoshi is winning, Kyu does this whole, good dog, good dog, Legoshi. And it's this whole thing, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't inspire Legoshi to do anything, because he's already winning against Melon. Like, there's this whole thing, and I cannot understate how much Kyu is an unnecessary character. And I really don't like her, Like, again, she is basically Louis all over again. And we do get somewhat of a redemption arc for her, where she's just like, she does come around, and she does like Legoshi to a certain extent. But she's just like, people didn't like Louis the way he was because he was very prejudiced against carnivores, and Kyu is literally the same way. So she's the same unlikable character, prejudiced character. She doesn't teach Legoshi anything important that ever comes up anywhere, because, again, her trainer was going. Legoshi's trainer was going. And again, she doesn't ever have like, oh, Goen taught me this, but he didn't teach you this, right? Where like Goen had a secret move or something that's super powerful that he never taught Legoshi. So Kyu teaches Legoshi that. No, there's none of that. There's none of this. There's no reason. There's no reason for her to exist at all. She never does anything. There's this plot point in, I think it's 20 here. Yeah, I have it marked. Where it seems like Kyu is going to sell Legoshi out to Melon. Where there's this part where like Kyu is taking a ton of money from Melon here. And it's because she just wants to be comfortable, right? She wants to be comfortable in her life, and Melon's offering her a lot of money to sell out Legoshi or something like that. And it just, oh my gosh, it doesn't go anywhere. Melon's offering her a lot of money to tell him what Legoshi's information is. So it's literally this vague. So this part that I'm going to read for you right here, which is this page, is literally in boxes. Then, before I knew it, I'd sold Legoshi's information to Melon. There's no part where it says what information. It just says she sold information. Kyu says, stacks of banknotes look like a lot of money, no matter how much each bill is worth. I'm a good source for you, huh? Melon says, keep me updated on Legoshi. Let the money wash away your guilt. Kyu says, you know what? I don't care whether you win or not. I don't care what happens to the black market after your victory. I just want my life to be a little more comfortable. And that's all we get. And at first I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Kyu selling out Legoshi. But this never comes up again. There's no point where Melon uses the very obscure information to get anything on Legoshi. There's never a part in the final battle where Melon's like, guess what, Legoshi? Your friend Kyu sold you out. And he uses information that she gave him. There's no weakness that, because like the previous pages where are of Kyu, and she's apparently, I'm guessing that the info is that Legoshi has dentures, because this whole first part of the book is Kyu's she wants to initiate Legoshi to fighting her for reals. So she goes to try and basically rope a giraffe's neck who's already injured. So Legoshi goes into protection mode and he goes after her and he chases her down and he basically puts her head in his mouth, but he takes his dentures out. So it doesn't harm her, it just stops her from trying to go after the giraffe. And that's so the page just a couple pages before the one I just read you is Legoshi and Haru have this little moment where Legoshi's like, I hope I didn't hurt you because I put my mouth over your head. And it's like, yeah, I don't have teeth. And then there's this part where it kind of has a little cut here, and Haru saying, the moment Legoshi stuck my head inside his jaws, his stomach rumbled. I'm going to make him fast until his duel. We'll see how motivated he gets when he's starving, which is a good way to motivate a guy. So, like, Kyu is helping Legoshi in this moment, right? Like, and then the next page is Kyu sitting with Melon, and Melon says, is this the value of your intel? And he's sitting there with a bunch of cash. I don't know if you can see that, but and she says, I don't know. That's up to you, Melon. And it's like, what are you talking about? Your information leads absolutely nowhere. Is she telling him that? Because this would be different if Kyu said that, she tells Legoshi, hey, Legoshi, if you fast, you'll be even more motivated when you're starving. And then it turns out it's not that way, that Legoshi's actually weak getting into the fight, and he realizes, oh shit, I was fasting the whole time, Kyu tricked me. No, there's no part where that comes up. In fact, it's the fasting thing does help Legoshi in the long run. It helps him suppress his instincts, it makes him stronger. So she was telling Melon all stuff that they never use this anywhere. They never use Kyu selling out Legoshi's information, nor does she ever get reprimanded for this, which is also weird. That, like, there's this plot point of Kyu selling out Legoshi to Legoshi's main arch villain in this series, and this never comes up. Not only does she never get reprimanded for it, but also it never comes up in the battle. It never is a thing that Melon uses against Legoshi. It's just this weird part in this volume, and it only ever comes up in this volume, where it's literally her going, oh yeah, no, I sold out your information, ha ha ha, I just want my life to be comfortable. So basically, this is a lose-lose for Melon, is all this is, because Legoshi fasts, and it helps him fight, and although Kyu tells him this, there's nothing Melon can do to stop that. So she gets away with his money, and Legoshi beats Melon. So all Melon did was lose a bunch of money. Like, there's no point. There's no point. And there's this part where Legoshi tells her he needs her to command him to stay and everything like that. And this is where he kind of catches her with the money, and she's like, oh, but this, again, never goes anywhere. It never, Legoshi not like, hey, what's in that bag? And she's like, oh, it's nothing, don't worry about it. And then Legoshi gets curious, and he goes to find the money, and he's like, where did you get this money from? And then it leads back to Millen somehow, and Legoshi's like, you betrayed me, I thought you were my friend. None of that. There's none of that. There is no reason. There's no reason that Kyu should even exist. She's a pointless character. Nothing that, no, like, ideology that she has makes the world different, the characters different, no world building's different, like, nothing. And, oh lord, it's just, okay. I don't know what to say. It's just terrible. What a useless character. And again, she takes up so much time in this. Like, this is, let's see, 2019. So she shows up at the end of volume 18. So we have 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 5 volumes with her in it, where she takes up valuable time. And the reason why this pisses me off, honestly, is because of the things that I will point out later about how it didn't use its time right. How there's so many other things that could have been revealed. And there's no point to any of this. There's no, let's see if I can even find anything here. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing here that Kyu participates in that is exciting, and she's just a pointless character. She's just another rabbit girl for the audience to go, ooh, Legoshi kind of got the hots for this rabbit girl. When he doesn't, because he's in love with Haru. He's head over heels with Haru. He has been since the whole entire fucking beginning of the show. Why would you try and gaslight the audience into believing that maybe he has another love interest? Like, we already did this, too, back in another volume, where Haru thought Legoshi was cheating on her with Seven, because she saw Legoshi and Seven, the sheep girl, going into the same apartment, and she was like, oh no, like, what, is he cheating on me or something? Like, so, and Haru never figures this out. In fact, Haru and Kyu never interact, which is something that would have been interesting to me, because Haru is a person that is very submissive in that way, where she's just like, if I get eaten, I get eaten. Whereas Kyu is just like, I'm gonna fight tooth and nail. I've got rights. I've got all this power. My trainer trained me good. I'm gonna kick this giraffe's ass because he's a dickhead. Like, she's so aggressive, which is fine, but like, that packed with her prejudice, packed with the idea that she sold Legoshi out, makes her a very detestable character. And if they had redeemed her somehow, this would have been different, but they didn't redeem her. There was no redemption arc for Kyu. She was just a character that was not only unnecessary, but very unlikable. And, like, again, I would have almost said that it would have been worth it if we had Haru and Kyu interact. Where, like, she's just like, hey, by the way, this is my friend Kyu. And Haru's just, like, kind of suspicious because it's, like, another rabbit girl who looks way better than she does, attraction-wise. And they have this beef where it's, like, Haru versus Kyu, where it's, like, they're very... Because they do have very opposite mindsets when it comes to the world that they live in of Beastars. So that would have made something interesting. That would have given me something, anything. But this is, no. Kyu is a unnecessary character. And that's just part 1. Kyu sucks. Okay, Kyu sucks. I don't care that she's wank bait, because she absolutely fucking is. But unnecessary, okay? The wank bait is not worth it, okay? For again, it makes me mad because of how much other time could have been put into different aspects of the ending story. And you'll see what I mean in the other videos. But for now, that's all of part 1. I don't see any other mentions of Kyu here. No, I think that's all that I had on Kyu as a pointless character. But that was just number one. That was just part one. So yeah. So that's part one of Beastars, the ending and analysis of it and what made it so shit. So I'll see you in the next video.